Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here tonight to celebrate Black History Month with a flag raising. We're kicking it off with a little ceremony inside here where we'll present a proclamation to the people on my left, which is 4 of the 7 members of the Human Rights Commission: Reyes Pawaskar, Don Green, Denise Anderson, and Glenn Morgan. Almost forgot your name, Glenn. To my right, I was so worried about saying Denise and not Marie. I always introduce Denise as Marie and Marie as Denise. I was so focused on that I forgot who the chairman was. To my right, Council President Corey Spiller, covering the 3rd Ward of Avenel and Port Reading. At-large Councilwoman Lisbeth DeJesus. 2nd Ward Councilman Howie Bauer, covering Fords, Hopewell, and Casby. At-large Councilman Greg Ficarra. 5th Ward Councilwoman Debbie Mean, covering Colonia, and Councilman at-large Kyle Anderson. So this is our annual ceremony. I'm going to just talk a little bit about the Human Rights Commission and then let Glenn take over. It's a group we formed many years ago, 2020 in particular, after a lot of turbulence in the community over a whole bunch of national issues, and we wanted to figure a way to deal with that. My Chief of Staff, Carol Orlick, remembered that there was a Human Rights Commission on the books many, many years ago. In fact, it was Glenn's mother, Pauline Morgan, that was the organizer of that, who kind of put that together and was the president of it. It became defunct for a while, and then we thought, what a perfect person to lead the new version of the Human Rights Commission in Glenn Morgan, who's this, like I said, it was his mom who basically started it and was the force for civil rights in Woodbridge Township all during the 50s and 60s. So I'm going to turn it over to Glenn now. He's going to help us with the flag raising. The commission meets 7 or 8, 9 times a year on Monday nights. I think it's the second Monday. Have a whole host of things they do. They're involved with us on affordable housing and domestic violence and other things, homeless. They've been a great resource for us. I'm going to now ask Glenn if he'll say a few words about the Human Rights Commission, and we'll go outside and raise a flag.
Okay, I'm prepared this time. Okay, I just wanted to welcome everybody here to this particular occasion here, and I wanted to, thank our mayor for recognizing the contributions to the African Americans that have contributed to this country. As I have said in the past, I am honored to continue my parents' legacy as chairman of the Human Rights Commission, to create an environment that allows all of our citizens of every ethnicity to have an outlet to voice their concerns related to their human rights. It's even more important now that we acknowledge the African American contributions, since some are trying to erase it. Even the thought of it is just not acceptable, and African American history is American history, and we have to always keep that, in mind. As far as our HRC meetings, they are held here in these chambers. You can find the dates on the website, the times, and you are more than welcome. And I'm speaking to everybody out there in TV land as well. The dates and information is found on the website. So we are welcoming you to come and voice your concerns or anything that you have to say. Thank you.
You can do better than that.
Okay.
Talk about your involvement. We got Phil
Okay.
Hall in the audience with the Independent Club of Colonia. You jointly handle the Martin Luther King celebration every year. You do the essay contest for the kids. Give me some more of that, man. You
Okay.
got a minute to brag.
All right. Well, okay. I was saving some of that for the council for later that I had set up. But anyway, the essay, we performed the essay contest for the township. We had 15 schools that were involved, all the elementaries at the 5th grade level, and they had to internally figure out who was the winner of each of their schools. From that, those 15 winners came to us, and at the Human Rights Commission, we had to decide who that one winner was.
Better you than us.
Oh boy, let me tell you. First of all, the principals, I could just imagine what they dealt with and went through. But it was the detail and the information that was written on these essays that just hit you. I mean, some of them I had to go over 2 or 3 times just to try to, look at the detail. And all of them had to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion in some way, shape, or form. And that was which was so touching about it. And that's why for us to make that decision to pick one out of it, it was very, very, really hard. But we did, we got it done, and we had an excellent venue over at the Acacia Center where we honored the kids. I asked all the parents just to stand up at one point, and we applauded them, because that's the key right there for going forward and for our future. They're the ones that are setting the stage. And we gave them a big round of applause and whatnot. So that's also on the TV for 35 for anybody who wants to see it as well. So we gotta, we here at this township have shown the diversity that we have both in the council as well as the Human Rights Commission. And we have to keep that going forward. And we also, going back, even talking about the police and what was set up for that, for us to hire the police officers and the different, the ways we went about hiring them. There was a process that was implemented that was approved by the council. So that's just another way of trying to create that diversity that we have here in this township. So we'll move forward and keep on doing our thing.
Thank you, sir.
How's that?
I'd like to now ask the very first ever elected black councilman in Woodbridge Township history, of going back, let's see, probably almost 14 years now, 13, 14 years since Kyle Anderson replaced Pat Osborne on the town council, which was very ironic because she was his teacher at John F. Kennedy High School. It's a great story. So Kyle, would you say a few words now?
Just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Black History Month is a special time for everyone, especially in the schools where we can see our teachers and our students embracing the history, the legacy that a lot of our historians, scientists, a lot of our historical leaders, that they have, what they've done, and that we're capturing that information, and that these young people are speaking about it. But, as Glenn pointed out, Black history is American history. Some people say, when is Black History Month? And they say January to December, right? Which is accurate. It's accurate. And, but nowadays we do have certain groups where we have a month, or we have a day, or we have a special holiday that we recognize. But February is the month that we do recognize Black History Month. The HRC has done a fantastic job. And I'm glad that the mayor and his administration saw to it that we revitalize that organization. We need all of our organizations in town. We have members of the Independent Club of Colonia. We have some of our gentlemen that are here from a local social club. When people drive around through Woodbridge, it shouldn't really faze them when they see different faces. Woodbridge right now is an extremely diverse town, and it's a very well-run town, and we feel like we have a lot of peace here in this town. We want to make sure that people feel comfortable living amongst one another, and the way we do that is that we understand that everyone contributes to our way of life. Everyone has contributed, and when you realize that, and you look at your neighbor and you say, wow, they're doing some amazing things. And I look to my other side, and my other neighbors are doing some really good things. That's how we become a community, and that's how we get past our differences. And we look at what we have more in common. We have more in common than we know. And but when you sit down at the table and you talk about that, and you talk about your children and your families, you realize we have more in common than we really think. And but at the same time, it is important that we recognize all of our greatness, as they say, Black excellence, right? There's so much that we have to be thankful for, because our ancestors don't have it as easy as we have it now. Right now, we're in a period where we can get out in front of these issues and talk about them openly and have forums that are going to be accepted. where our parents and our grandparents, they had a very tough, very, very tough time. And we need to be grateful and thankful that they endured what they did so that we can sit in here and we can have a room full of people that have the same equality and equity as others. The mayor pointed out in 2011, I was appointed through the council to be the first black councilman, first black elected official. But I found out very quickly, it doesn't begin and end with me, that it takes our entire community to make sure that we recognize all of what we do and recognize that we're a part of a community and that we need to make sure that we continue to do our part and that we continue to converse and have great conversations about what being from Woodbridge, what being from New Jersey, what being from the United States of America all stands for, right? And we can stand proudly when we pledge that flag, and we can stand proudly when we sing the national anthem, that we are included in all of that and included in many of our historians and many of our leaders and their dream. So just want to thank you all for coming, and thanks to the HRC for leading tonight, and have a great flag raising. And anybody in our community, make sure you come by, take a picture in front of the flag. Thank you.
One thing to remind you, we have on our website, Meg, is it the mayor's Facebook page, the vignettes? And the township website. There's vignettes of famous black leaders in Woodbridge history and other history, one every day. It's a phenomenal presentation. Megan is our assistant communications director. She works with John Haggerty, and her and Kelly Walsh, who is our social media coordinator, have put it together every year. It's updated all the time. It's fantastic to just go there, click on it every day, or wait a couple of days and click all the way back and see what you missed. We do the same thing for Women's History Month, working with Lizbeth DeJesus and Sharon McAuliffe and Debbie Meehan. So check out those resources and see what we have as far as people in history who have done great things in the name of black history in Woodbridge Township. Now I'd like to ask our council president if he'd like to say a few words tonight about this ceremony. Corey Spiller.
Good evening. Thank you. As Councilman Anderson and the mayor said, we are a very diverse township, and it started with the council, school district, all our boards and commissions, and then in 2020, when the Human Rights Commission was reformed, it continued with that. I know when you guys were formed again, I speak for myself, I speak for all my fellow councilmates, but I know I sat down and was able to have a conversation, pretty much everyone on the commission, very positive conversations about everything that's going on and what anybody can do to be better for our township. So I want to commend you for that. And I have to say, I watched that Martin Luther King essay. God bless you, because I would not want to be having to judge that. But we're going to have a great flag raising. And again, as Councilman Anderson said, it's Black History Month, but it's something that we celebrate and commemorate and talk about for the entire year. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Corey. If the commissioner would now come up and hold the plaque, I'll present it to President Morgan. If the four of you would take a picture with it, and then the council will join in.
Mayor, council.
Tyler, thank you, good.
Good evening. Please rise. Call the special budget meeting in order. Please stand for a pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing one moment for all our military personnel serving abroad, the 2 tragic plane crashes, and all the wildfires out in California. Thank you.
Notice requirements of the open public meeting law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The newspapers published a notice. I'll also note that the amendment to the budget was published in full in the newspaper as well. It should be so noted in the minutes, and the amendment was also posted on the municipal bulletin board. Roll call, Councilman Bauer. Here. Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Councilman Ficarra. Here. Councilwoman McAuliffe.
Here.
Councilwoman Mia.
Here.
Vice President Patel. I'm sorry, I got a wrong thing in front of me. Councilman Patel, Councilman Small, Councilman Anderson.
Here.
and President Spiller.
Here.
Sorry about that. Mr. President, we have 2 resolutions in front of you tonight. First, I'd like to read Resolution number 1 for approval. If I could get a motion, this would waive the reading of the full amendment in full since it's been advertised and posted in accordance with the law. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution number 1?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. President, I'll also entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public for comment on the amendments to fiscal year 25 budget. I get a motion.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. So the public hearing is now open on amendments to the fiscal year 25 budget. If anybody from the public has any comment, please step up. There are no comments from the public. Can I get a motion to close the public comment portion?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Oh,
Sorry, one more. Yep. Can I get a motion then on resolution number 2, which is to adopt the amended budget?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Thank you for all your assistance. We'll go into a couple comments. Mayor, start with you.
Thank you very much, Council President. I just want to thank the team responsible for this annual budget. It took longer than normal, just because of a technicality with the state. We normally adopt it in around September or October, but the team that worked on it had to work especially hard. I want to first recognize the second best chief financial officer in the 355-year history of the township of Woodbridge. That's a long time, folks, to be the second best CFO ever. But Manny Fernandez has done this job for 13 years. That's might be one of the records in and of itself, too. But he's just done a wonderful job shepherding this budget through. Mike Klepchik is the deputy CFO. He's not here. Chief accountant Katie Mullen is here. Those 3 were involved in the nuts and the bolts of the budget. Of course, that controller's office reports to Vito Samaluka as the business administrator and Casey Mullen. Man, I'm in the old days. Casey Wagner as the deputy business administrator, and they are in charge of the budget. So I think it's been a really phenomenal effort dealing with this because of the delays in the state, and it's a great budget. It's got a minimal tax increase. It pays down some debt before we had to. It provides for capital projects before we even have to issue debt. And our department heads and division heads and employees are very diligent. The first thing they do after the budget's passed is try not to spend it. So we're very, very proud of the job our team does, and the budget before you was very well put together, and I'm glad that you supported it by adopting it tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't want to speak for the rest of my fellow council mates. They can all offer comments, but I just want to say, as council president representing this council, I want to thank yourself, administration and finance, all the directors. This process starts, last spring, and we all get our binders, we all ask questions, we all go through everything, and we do our due diligence. But you make it very easy for us to basically just know you know what you're doing. It just makes it easier. And you had brought up about the taxes. We had a year with no tax increase. We had a year with no tax levy. We have minimal tax increase on the residents of the township. So I personally like to thank you for that. Those are my comments. Anybody else from council? Seeing none?
I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Have a good night. Good evening. I'll call the council meeting in order. Please rise. Pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask you to please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our military personnel serving the two terrible, tragic plane crashes and all the residents in California dealing with the wildfires. Thank you.
Requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act is satisfied concerning this meeting. Following the Blue Star Record published a notice on January 10, 2025. It was posted on the municipal bulletin board and should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bauer.
Here.
Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Councilman Vaccaro.
Present.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Patel. Councilman Small. Vice President McCullough.
Here.
And President Spiller. Here. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from January 21st, 2025?
Motion. Second.
Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances this evening, we have one, letter A, an ordinance to vacate a portion of West Kelly Street in the Miller Park Terrace section of the township. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading? And the
Motion.
public hearing be open.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only. Here are no comment from the public. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. You have listed first reading ordinances B, C, D, and E. Can I get a motion that these four ordinances be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on February 7, 2025, with a notice of public hearing to be held on Tuesday, February 18, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And finally, Mr. President, there are 28 resolutions listed before you. Can I get a motion by consent 1 through 28 for approval?
Motion. Second.
Council.
Questions or comments from
Councilman
council?
Mr. Mitchell, I just wanted to, if I could, make a comment on resolution number 7. It's the Aspire grant from the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. It's for Hackensack Meridian, and it is a community benefits agreement associated with their construction of their corporate headquarters at the Metro Park, along with a health center there. And what it is it's amazing. As the host community, through this Aspire grant, we have a $350,000 grant for 10 years. That's $350,000 a year for 10 years. And it's for health benefits for our community. And this is a real tribute to Mayor McCormick and to our redevelopment chairperson and the chief of staff, Carolyn Ehrlich, along with Heather LaMotta to negotiate this. The benefits, Mayor Mack likes to say that Hackensack Meridian will do for Woodbridge Township what Robert Wood Johnson did for New Brunswick. And this is just a step. This is incredible. I have a list of suggestions that are going down, everything from starting out with a community needs assessment so that we get the input from the community. And by the way, members of the community that are here and watching, the community health needs assessment for Hackensack Meridian will be going on now. So you may get phone calls or see something online. We have posted it on our website about asking your opinion on things that are needed as it's related to health. Please don't shy away from that. That is legit, and that is the way that we address some of these issues. It certainly could be a way for us to establish our community needs and how to spend $3.5 million over the next 10 years. So It's just it's a wonderful opportunity. Again, kudos to the administration for their hard work. These negotiations don't, come along too easy, and there's a reason why we do these things and work with the Economic Development Authority. And again, job well done by the administration. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Councilman Vaccaro. I appreciate the dialogue and the FYI for all our residents. Mr. Mitchell.
Are there any other comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. We'll now go to the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. When approaching the microphone, please state your name, what section of the township or state that you live in, and you'll have a one-time opportunity to speak up to 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Glenn Morgan, Avenel Section, former president, the vice president of the Independent Club of Colonia, and currently the chairman of the Human Rights Commission here in Woodbridge Township. I just wanted to thank the mayor for honoring the Black History Month and raising the flag here for the month of February today. So thank you. Also, in honoring Black History Month, the Board of Ed had an annual essay contest on Martin Luther King's birthday. All 15 elementary schools participated. This is for the 5th graders only. Out of the many essays that were submitted, one had to be chosen from each school. The Human Rights Commission was given the 15 essays from all 15 schools to determine the winner. Myself and many of my committee members read all the essays. The essays drew me in to read it sometimes multiple times because of the detail that was in them. What was so exceptional about the group of 5th graders was the diversity of the various ethnicities that participated. And I found that, very intriguing. I let them know there are no losers in this competition, as I expressed to the students and the parents. I informed them that it starts at home. What they're learning at home is what they're going to take out there with them. This is an indication of our future leaders that spoke of diversity, equity, and inclusion for all. I feel we have a bright future ahead when we have these type of students that are learning here in our educational system here in Woodbridge Township. We as a township must be up for the challenges ahead, not only to allow our students not to lose out on African American history by the erasing of their accomplishments. African American history is American history. The diversity that we have in our township council, our Human Rights Commission, is an example of the right thing we are trying to do here in this township. We didn't have a choice, none of us, when we were born, how were we going to come out? Who was our mother, father? We didn't have a choice, so we have to adapt to whatever society sometimes brings towards our way, So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, everyone. I don't want to take away from the
Excuse
thank
me.
you. My
I'm
name
sorry.
is Michelle Burwell.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Your name and the area of the township is?
Michelle Burwell from Ford's.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I didn't want to take away from the thank you, but I do thank you because I came here for the raising of the flag. However, the time had changed and there was a mishap with regards to the communication, and there were also several other people that came thinking that it started at 5:30 when in fact started at 5 o'clock. And so the only thing I wanted to do is, in line with what was just said as it relates to the diversity of this community, that we be a little more sensitive, especially during these times, to make sure that if something's going to happen to celebrate someone's heritage or someone's background or someone's ethnicity, that we be mindful of the communication conversation because it is a very sensitive time, and those things can be taken out of context, right? I mean, Mr. Glenn came up and said a lot of good things, but at the end of the day, we need to be mindful because it is a very, very sensitive time as it relates to ethnicity, as it relates to race. And so I would ask that you guys would be very sensitive in making sure that whatever communication that you send out, that it is accurate, and that if it needs to be changed, that you are accommodating, because at 5:30 there were more people that drove up and we were outside and you guys were in here on your phones. It's just disrespectful. So whatever it was that you tried to do that was a good thing, even though it may not have been your intentions, it ended up being counterproductive, right? So I just wanted to say that, to just be a little bit more mindful, because we are very diverse in this community, and we just need to make sure that we're mindful of how that makes you feel when you have other things coming at you in the world outside of this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Just for some clarification, nobody was on their phone at 5:30, because at 5:30 we had the special budget meeting that's been posted. Excuse me, you had your 5 minutes. This is not a give and take. At 5:30 nobody was on their phone, because at 5:30 we had the special budget meeting, which has been posted in numerous papers. So thank you very much. Mr. Mitch.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Hello again, and I'm Jessica Mayer Vivanetto from Avenel. And tonight I'm speaking on behalf of myself, Nicole Paternoster, who you've met, Carrie Espuga, who you've met, Dipti Sheath, Stop Sequest Woodbridge, Uncle Neil's Home, and Revolution Philadelphia. We wanted to bring to your attention the recent actions taken by New Jersey Fish and Wildlife officers against Sequest at Woodbridge Mall. On January 31st, an administrative order and notice of revocation were hand-delivered to Sequest, citing numerous violations over the years. As a result, their permit has been revoked. New Jersey Fish and Wildlife will be seizing regulated animals unless an appeal is filed within the next 15 days. However, this order does not apply to the farm permit that the Health Department signed off on for domestic animals such as the cats, the fish, the farm animals, iguanas, flying squirrels, and the parakeets. We have already established placement for these animals with reputable sanctuaries. Sequest has clearly broken the law. New Jersey Fish and Wildlife will be seizing the exotic animals, and we have placement for the rest. You have remained complacent in this animal cruelty the entire time that I've been coming here. Given these developments, I urge the council to consider the following actions moving forward. To ensure compliance with local regulations, working with the New Jersey Fish and Wildlife and other relevant agencies to ensure that Sequest complies fully with the terms of the order and any applicable local ordinances. To assess the welfare of the remaining animals. Partner with local animal welfare organizations to evaluate the conditions of the domestic and non-regulated animals. Monitor their bankruptcy proceedings and legal implications. Engage the community. Establish stronger oversight for similar businesses. Use this as an opportunity to strengthen local policies surrounding the operation of animal-based attractions to prevent similar issues. This situation highlights the importance of responsible oversight when it comes to businesses that handle live animals. With the additional concern of potential bankruptcy, it is critical that we act proactively to ensure that legal, financial, and animal welfare issues are properly addressed. I hope you're willing to work with us now. I mean, we've done the work for you. We set up sanctuaries for the rest of the animals that are there. The exotic animals will be seized. There was a court hearing in Idaho last Friday. Sequest wanted to sell to an investor that owned 4% of the company for $80,000. They wanted to sell Woodbridge for $16,000. The judge denied the sale. So what we're looking is, because we have the sanctuaries on standby, like I said, we did all the work for you. You know how many times I've been here. I'm asking you to please revoke the farm permit so that we can get the animals released to sanctuary. The place is going to close. It's definitely going down. Please don't allow them to remain, the animals to remain with a bankrupt, failed business. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public?
Nicholas Huss, Somerset, New Jersey. Good evening, Council. We understand the Township of Woodbridge currently holds a Silver Sustainable Jersey certification, a prestigious designation for municipal governments in New Jersey. Municipalities that achieve certification are considered by their peers, state government, and experts in New Jersey to be among the leaders of the state. Woodbridge was given for supporting wildlife and educating the public on wildlife. To obtain additional points here in the Sustainable Jersey certification process, the Township of Woodbridge can submit the resolution for ordinance prohibiting certain interactive animal facilities to ensure that new businesses similar to Sequest are not permitted in the township. Eliminating such businesses will certainly reduce the risk of zoonotic diseases such as Salmonella or E. coli, which pose significant public health concerns, particularly for children and vulnerable populations. Would you be willing to look into this?
The question is, would we be willing to look into a resolution regarding what you just stated?
Yes. Yeah, so that resolution is ordinance prohibiting certain interactive animal facilities.
If that's the resolution that was asked of us several months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, there's nothing in front of this body to be voting on at this time.
Okay, I'm not sure if it is, the ordinance that was asked a couple months ago. Do you have the name of what maybe somebody else had brought up to you? So we can just compare notes to make sure that it is the same or it is different?
Not off the top of my head, but if it's the resolution regarding Sequest as it was presented a couple meetings, there's nothing that's in front of this body to be voting on at this time.
Yeah, could we fact check that to see if there was anything? Or how about this, if you guys aren't interested in going back to figure out if it's the same ordinance or not, I can give you this ordinance here, you can write it down, I can say it again, and then you could look into it and let me know and say, oh, hey, that was the same one, or hey, that's a different one, yeah, let's look into this. Is that okay?
You can present whatever you might have to Mr. Mitch. Whatever was presented to us earlier is on file.
Okay.
I'll just reiterate, anything that has been presented to us in terms of wanting a
Understood.
resolution, ordinance, it was called a resolution. There's nothing that has been in front of this body, nor is there anything that's going to be in this body, at least on the first reading ordinances for next meeting, for us to vote on.
Okay, understood. But in the meantime, Mr. Mitch, his name was?
Municipal Clerk, Mr. Mitch.
Okay, Mr.
Everything gets
Mitch.
forwarded to him and he implements it.
Okay, so if you could just write this down for ordinance prohibiting certain interactive animal facilities, and we'll follow up with that. The next line that I want to offer is when we present problems, I personally like to give solutions for the situation, so I want to put something that's going to go in replace of where Sequest would be. That is fun, that's interactive, that's educational, it's good for the community, and I thought that this was really interesting here. So if malls want to add some entertainment to their shopping experience, there are tons of animal-friendly ways to do so. Sketch Aquarium, Connected the World at the Newark Museum of Arts in Newark, New Jersey. So this is happening right now. Is a great example.
1 minute, I'm sorry. 1 minute.
1 minute, no problem. Is a great example. It allows visitors to color animal templates, scan them, and digitally drop them into a virtual aquarium where the images become animated and projected around the room, appearing to swim. So big mall companies, property management companies such as Simon Group have already took the pledge to work against non-sustainable operations such as holding animals in captivity. So this is something that I encourage the city to look into to fill those voids for Lord & Taylor, which is right next to Sequest and the Sears location. We could still have fun, we could still entertain the children, have, some downtime for the parents over here, for them to bring their kids to be, entertained in an educational way, and we could do it without enslaving animals. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your due diligence. The township does not own Woodbridge Center Mall. Woodbridge Center Mall at all owns Woodbridge Center Mall. It's up to them to decide whom they decide they want to sell to, portion, all of, as long as it meets all the zoning, conforms all zoning standards, that's up to them. But thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, John Vitale, Woodbridge. Just curious, a lot of people kind of, because of traffic, of course, we all know what's happening, you got to bear with it. But again,
I'm sorry, a lot of people know what's happening where?
a lot of people complain about traffic, but we got to bear with it, we know that's going to happen. But question would be, on Barron Avenue, the double yellow line, I mean, I've been traveling to Woodbridge, that's the first time I saw, what's the purpose of it? Because of safety, or somebody may tell me it's a bicycle line to drive bicycles in the middle, but if you look at it from Green Street always up to behind the high school, it's a double yellow line on the street. The question would be,
Double yellow line on Barron.
what is it supposed to do?
So I'll yield to either Director Hubner or the Mayor, Director Simon. I can just say real quick, I know we have that on South Dimon Avenue, and it works, but I'll let you.
So there was a speeding issue or complaints on Barron Avenue. It's a very wide road. So everything that was painted there are to standards for traffic calming. It kind of makes the road look narrower than it really is, which slows people down. So that just divides the road.
Well, because, we know on a county road or south, but not residential. If it works, I think it's a great idea. I mean, it's maybe something to see what's happening. I know people want to put out what you call it, bumpers or whatever you call it across the road before, but because other towns do it to slow the traffic. But again, there's been a lot of complaints of people speeding, and mostly because of the high school, I believe. So if it works like that, it's great. Second thing would be, if you look at it in Woodbridge over here, I know water company sent us a notices, I think I said before, that they're going to replace all galvanized pipes, and they're going to replace the lead pipes. Government, they get money from government, they're going to do it, it won't cost people, anybody. But again, they're digging over and over and over. They go there and dig up over there on Bombay Avenue or over the side streets, and then a week later they come up, dig it out, they do it again. They're just creating a mess of those roads over there. Question would be, either make mistake so to do it over, or they bad engineering or something else, but it's never into it. And the question would be, I know we may have approved a lot of money for the repair of the roads. Question is, if they get money to replace galvanized pipe, is the water company going to patch the roads too, and is the government going to pay for it, or we're going to have to pay for it?
Council President, so Mr. Vitale, there are many different utilities in the roadway. We try our best to coordinate with those utilities to try to dig up at the same time. They're not replacing the same pipes over again. There's water lines, there's gas lines, there's some telecommunications that are underground that they have to service. So that's what you see, the work going on. Right now, Middlesex Water is doing a refurbish. They're doing a lot of lead pipes that are changing, or compromised pipes that are in the ground, along with the gas company. So that's what you see. In Seawarren, that is a forced sewer main for our sewer system that we're replacing.
Thank you. Again, when they get a permit, or what's called permit or license, whatever you want to call it, to do it, do they, each job, do they have to do separately, or is one permit is for indefinite until the job is done?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
They generally give us a list in advance before we do with the roads that we want to do and pave. They generally give us a list of what they're looking at so that we can coordinate.
Thank you. Good.
Thanks.
Are there any other comments from the public?
Thank you.
Don't have to fly.
Paul Lund, Hope Lawn. One of the things I'm excited about in the new Trump administration is something called DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, examining every department, every program to see if there's any inefficiency or ways to cut costs. And I'm wondering, has there been recently or can there be in the near future an independent audit, perhaps a forensic investigation, a drill down in Woodbridge Township's budget, programs, departments to look for inefficiencies, to look for savings, which will ultimately help me in my tax savings as well? And that's my only question tonight.
So I'll start with, I know we go through in a very extensive audit. I'm not going to comment this. I'm going to look to the mayor because he is the finance person.
Not really, but Buzz. We're constantly looking for ways to save money, Mr. Lund. Every one of our employees knows what to look for. They all know their jobs. They know how to pave roads. They know how to pick up garbage. They know how to patrol streets. They know how to run health programs and rec programs. It's a constant effort from us. No, we don't need anybody from the outside to come in and tell us what to do. We don't need a Doge in Woodbridge. We're not going to have a Doge in Woodbridge. We know exactly what we're doing. We had a zero tax increase 2 years ago, a zero tax increase last year, a minimal tax increase this year, an average of $20 a year over the last 3 years. We don't need anybody coming in to tell us what to do. Thank you.
I don't think I quite put it that way, but I'm just saying an independent audit wouldn't
Well, we
hurt.
have an independent audit every single year by a licensed CPA RMA firm.
That's more the question.
Thank you, Mr. Lund.
Are there any other questions or comments from the public?
Council President, just one thing, it was mentioned by Mr. Vitaric that the mayor spends a lot of money on our roads. Last I checked, council approves the work to the roads, and there's input by our ward people, input by our public works. I don't think there's a better way to do it, and quite frankly, I, for one, am very proud of our road improvements. I thank the mayor, but it's a team effort.
Last time I checked, the council approves on everything we spend, Councilman.
Mr. President.
Comment from the
Oh,
public.
and I will just add, Mr. Lund, from a recreation point of view, we practice, a lot of our leagues have consolidated. We've been very efficient with use of our fields, and we also find ways to build revenue from any of the other organizations outside of Woodbridge that are looking for field use. So that's one way that we do work efficiently from the recreation point of view.
Great. Thank you.
Here are no other comment from the public. Can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Motion. Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll go into the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. I'll move to the agenda portion, start with myself. Item number 16, Greenway Family Success Center. There's some exciting and informational events happening at Greenway Family Success Center in the month of February. They're on Facebook. They have a website. Just Google Greenway Family Success Center. In the next few weeks, they have their Black History Month Brunch and Learn on Saturday, February 8th. They have fair housing workshop to work for the tenants as well as the landlords. Informational session on February 13th. And there it is. I like this. I like them all. But father figure daddy-daughter dance on February 21st. So you can register for all events. Just look at Greenway Family Success Center programs, or you can call at 732-527-3400. Again, Greenway Family Success Center, 1005 Royal Avenue in Avenel. The rest of my agenda is order, Council President. Council Vice President McCall.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have two announcements to make. Number 3, the Chamber of Commerce. Join the Chamber of Commerce for the 2025 State of the Township Address and Luncheon, presented by Mayor John McCormick. This special event will take place on March 6th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Delta Hotel. For tickets and sponsorship opportunities, please visit the Chamber's website. And number 10, the Gallery on Main. Located on 101 Main Street, the Gallery on Main proudly showcases and sells original and high-quality art of cooperative artists who actively contribute to the gallery's operations. This gallery is currently accepting applications for new artists interested in exhibiting their work. To apply, visit the Gallery on Main's website for more details. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day, and let's take a moment to keep our brave military members in our thoughts and as they continue to serve and protect us both home and abroad. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. I'll first start with item number 1, WTYRC. I would like to thank the mayor and the council for supporting one of our recreation programs, Woodbridge Broncos. They held their 7th annual awards banquet this past weekend. We had over 350 attendees. I'd like to thank Mayor McCormick for coming and being a part of a presentation to the family of Jerry Poppy Thorne, who was given the award for posthumously for his Fan of the Year. We named the award in his honor, and his family was there to receive that. There are over 250 children, boys and girls in this organization, and they're very appreciative of the mayor and the council's participation. I'm going to hold on item number 2 and number 3, Woodbridge Hall of Fame. They are accepting nominations now for anyone that graduated from one of our 3 public high schools. I will mention, back on the banquet, I do want to thank the 3 high school head football coaches for also being in attendance. It's very important for a lot of the 8th grade graduating players to see their high school coaches there. So Coach T.R. Rorty, Coach Mike Henderson from JFK, and Coach Joe George from Woodbridge were all in attendance there. And it was very nice to see them there. The Hall of Fame is accepting nominations for this upcoming Hall of Fame celebration, which will be in October. You can contact the Recreation Department if you have anyone that you feel is worthy. The one requirement is that they graduated from one of our high schools and they participated either on the high school, college, pro, or even amateur level, and that they've been graduated from school for at least 20 years. So we'll now be looking at the class of, I guess it would be 2005. 2005 class will now be considered for this year. Going to hold on 5, 6, and 7. I will also mention on the MLK, I know that we had Mr. Glenn mention about the essay contest. I want to thank the Human Rights Commission for spearheading that event and listening to all the essays and reading all of the essays. I know that my wife read a number of essays, and very difficult to choose who the winners are going to be, but as you mentioned, all of them are winners for submitting, and we want to thank the families for being there. Also, I missed the last meeting, but the MLK event that was held on January 15th at the Acacia Center was fantastic. The Woodbridge High School chorus was also phenomenal, but we had a night, it was a very chilly night, but we had a good attendance. Tonight we did celebrate the kickoff of Black History Month celebration. I do see that the event is advertised on our website at 5 o'clock. I'm sorry that there were some folks that thought that it was at 5:30, but it is advertised on our website for 5 o'clock, and it's been so advertised on our website for 5 o'clock for several weeks now. We did have good attendance, but for anyone that did not get the word, we do apologize. But I think that we did put the information out there, and I encourage people, if they want to follow any of the events that are going on the rest of the month, to please check the Woodbridge Township website. The Independent Club of Colonia will be holding their Black History Month celebration on February 23rd from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock at the Acacia Center at 95 Port Reading Avenue. It is a free event, and we're also asking any organizations and any people that are attending if they would bring a non-perishable food item, as the Independent Club of Colonia will be donating food to our food bank. This is the time of year where all of our food banks, especially after the holidays, could use some replenishing. So we do ask that you attend the event, but also please bring bring a non-perishable food item. I just want to mention the Tooling Around the Town event coming up is going to be Saturday, April 26th this year, and the application information it will be on our website very soon. And we like to have TV 35 there to see all of the work of the volunteers in Woodbridge Township. If you are looking to volunteer, please also contact the township and let them know that you are looking to volunteer for the Tooling Around event. And lastly, if you're, two more things. If you are a senior high school senior and you haven't chosen a college yet, I do encourage you to go on to Middlesex College's website, submit an application there. It's a great place to start your education. It's where I started my education. Very affordable with the cost of tuition these days. Very affordable choice to start your education. So please go to middlesexcc.edu. And lastly, I do want to mention that the annual Juneteenth event is actually scheduled for June 14th this year. We were going a little bit earlier because it's very close to Father's Day, but it'll be at Woodbridge High School, and I'll announce the time and any of the vendors and things that we're going to have at that event at a future date. That's all I have, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilman Vaccaro.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is a mess, but in spite of that, I'm going to make an announcement on a few events coming up. All of them related to youth activities from our youth services. First, Family and Friends CPR, February 11th at Evergreen from 6 to 7:30. And then February 26th at Acacia, once again, 6 to 7:30. This is CPR. It's really a valuable course that's taught by our professional department. It's for students and their families 10 years and older. If you could reach out to the Recreation Department, Cindy Bentz, at 732-596-4103. Again, with our youth group at the Acacia Center, we have a Heart celebration on February 12th from 3 to 6 p.m. This is for our middle school students. There is some transportation if you're coming from Avenel. The point is to get together during that time. There's free food, music, games, and fun, and also an opportunity to contribute to the food drive. And you can reach out to our youth services there at 732-726-6290. And looking way ahead to the spring, April 4th in particular, being we have some cool weather coming back. Woodbridge Center is coming together with our Recreation Department in some games that we might remember of our youth, things like hopscotch and the bunny hop and crafts and things of that nature. April 4th at Woodbridge Center in the lower level center court, 6 to 8 p.m., and I'll have more information on that. And then just finally, as I mentioned, the Hackensack Meridian doing their community needs assessment. If you get an invitation to participate, please jump on board, give them your opinion. It's important. We've got a lot of money to spend, and we want to do it the right way. Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Vaccaro. Councilman Bauer.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I have one announcement. The Ford's Business Community Business-to-Business Membership and Networking Mingle will be held tomorrow night. That'll be Wednesday, February 5th at 6 p.m. at Dolce's Pizzeria and Restaurant. That's at 432 New Brunswick Avenue in Ford's. Member and non-members are welcome. Food will be served. That's all I have tonight. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Bauer. Councilwoman DeHace.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have one announcement. The Barron Art Center is hosting a concert by Joseph Alton Miller on February 21st at 7:30 p.m. Reservation is essential. Call 732-634-0413. With a focus on American roots folk music, singer-songwriter Joseph Alton Miller strives to bridge the gap separating the many genres that make up the American sound. Again, that will be February 21st at 7:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman DeHace. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have two announcements this evening. The 2025 Have a Heart food drive is in full swing. There's still 2 weeks left to help us reach our goal. We're asking residents to either donate $214 or 214 pounds of food to help us restock our food pantries this winter. Please either drop your donation off at the Woodbridge Health Center, or if you have a larger donation, we'll pick it up. You can reach out to Peter Barcelona at 732-855-0600, extension 5034. Every donation helps. People are struggling, and they can use some help. So if anything that you can do to help us, we would appreciate that. On March 2nd, we will be holding our annual chili cook-off contest at the Acacia Center in Port Reading. We're looking for the best chili chefs around to enter our contest. Prizes will be given for the best 3 chilies. If you're interested in entering your chili, please reach out to Eileen at the Rec Center at 732-596-4047. There is a $20 registration fee. Entrance fee to the event is $10. All proceeds from this event will be donated to the family of J.P. May, a 16-year-old Colonia resident who's battling cancer. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan. Always a great event, that chili.
Yeah.
Always for a great cause, too. Thank you. Mr. Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. President. My agenda is in order. Just thank you, council. I'm going to note 2A from my agenda, and thank you for your support of the consent agreement. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. I know we had that under resolutions. I want to offer comment. I want to thank you, I'm sure the rest of my councilmates, for your office, your staff, your agents, and all the respective departments for all their hard work and diligence at all hours regarding that 2A. So thank you. Moving along. Mayor, you have anything?
No, thank you, Council President.
One second. Councilwoman McAuliffe.
I'm sorry, I just have one thing that I forgot to say. K-Pot is a new restaurant that's in Woodbridge, in the ShopRite Center, and it is going to be opening, so if you could go on their website, check it out. It's a really interesting new restaurant. You might get some information, go check it out and see when it's going to be opening and try it. It's a very exciting little restaurant that you guys can check out, so go look at it and help them get themselves started in Woodbridge as a business. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks fantastic. I'm sorry, Mayor, you're good?
I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Simaluka.
Thank you, Council President. I have one item tonight. I have a tax and sewer overpayment. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Hudlin.
Thank you, Council President. Just one traffic ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Director Thornton.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Director Brewer.
Thank you, Council President. I have a few items tonight. The first one is a resolution to execute change orders 1 to 3 on contract 2014-011, and that's odor and corrosion control for the Port Reading Interceptor. Second item for resolution is authorizing execution of agreement between the Township of Woodbridge and the County of Middlesex for the installation of a new traffic signal at West Avenue and Milos Way. And the third item for resolution is authorizing the execution of agreement between the Township of Woodbridge and Middlesex County for installation of a new traffic signal at the intersection of Oak Tree Road and Middlesex Avenue. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Director. Legal.
Council President, nothing to you.
Thank you, sir. Look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Second.
Motion, meeting adjourned. Good night. Thank you.